Hi, welcome to the Church Split. My name is Will, and today we're talking about something that shouldn't split your church. It shouldn't cause controversy in the church, but here we are. So, today I want to address Cuties, but before I address Cuties, I want to discuss with you real fast. If you hear any background noise, my wife is watching a movie upstairs, and I'm not going to have her stop her life just so I can shoot a podcast. So anyway, if you hear anything like that, I swear my house is not falling in around me. It's just she's watching a movie. Anyway, so I want to address this really quickly because this movie Cuties has come out, and for those of you who are not familiar with it, I'm sure you've been living under a rock. I don't know how you haven't heard about it, but if you haven't heard about it yet, I will give you some quick background. So this is a French movie, which obviously means it's going to be bad, right? I mean, come on, let's be real. Anyway, so this French movie was coming out, and Netflix bought it, and when they put it out there, they started marketing it. It instantly caused controversy just by their initial poster. So those who don't know, the French poster and the American poster were two totally different things, and the American poster caused some serious controversy. So Netflix changed it. They changed their description from a girl who went into a twerking crew to a girl who, like a free-flow dance crew, essentially. So those who don't know, so I want to tell you this real quick. I have not watched this movie to its fullest. I have watched clips, I have watched synopsises, and that's about as much as I could stomach without feeling like a pedophile. I'm just going to be honest. When my foster daughter, she came in and showed me a video on her phone. She's like, "This is what's in it," and I was like, it was revolting. My stomach literally felt like it was churning. I was mortified for a minute and 30 seconds. So then I kept researching the movie, and I was like, there's no way I could watch this movie in good conscience to be able to make, so some of you might be like, oh, you're not making an informed decision. Well, here's the thing. The movie is basically about a girl who is raised in a very traditional Muslim home. Her dad wants to bring in another wife. She gets very upset, essentially, and she goes and she joins this crew of girls who are hypersexualized, and they are learning everything via online, right? So they're seeing all the likes that these girls got for flashing themselves and all that. And I do want to quickly say this as well. If you have children around, turn off this video and come back, because I'm going to be using some adult-ish language and addressing some adult things here, and I'm not trying to be grotesque, but this just popped in my mind now. I want to make sure I address that. So anyway, she joins this hypersexualized dance crew, and I mean, they're seeing that one girl flashes her top and therefore got all these likes, so that means they should do it, and they're seeing all these different people. So basically it's about how the internet raises your children. And constantly throughout the movie, and many people have said this, even the most liberal people I know talk about how there's always a kid's butt in your face in this movie. Also, 631 girls tried, or is it 651? I can't remember which one. Either way, tried out for this part, which is absurd. That is a lot of kids who had to go basically dance and twerk in front of a crew, which also is kind of revolting. Now, I don't think I need to say that these kids are underage. They are not legally able to consent to any sort of sexual activity. They aren't old enough to even understand the repercussions of such actions, yet here we are. So here's the thing when it comes to this. I want you guys to understand what Cuties is doing. Now, the context of the movie, the goal of the movie, if you will, is to try to show that sexualizing children is bad, right? The girls are being raised on the internet, they're seeing all these things, so they start doing it, and at the very end of the movie, in the worst dance scene, if you look it up, some crazy things happen in that scene that I'll address later. Then the girl cries, and then she runs home, and then she, instead of falling completely back into her traditional Muslim upbringing or being completely sexualized, she finds this middle-of-the-road way to live. And the whole point is, yay, look, she doesn't have to live in the extremes. She can find a nice, moderate approach to life. But the issue is with this is that it does not still negate the fact that these are underage girls doing this. And essentially what it is, it's not like, they imply it and cut away the camera. It's not like they imply these things. There's literally a part where an 11-year-old girl tries to seduce a man. She takes off her panties and takes a picture of her crotch and uploads it for likes. There are parts where in their dance scenes, they spread their legs, pelvic thrust the air, and rub their hands over their crotch, and plus humping the ground and all sorts of wild things. It's disgusting. So here's the thing. At what point does artists, because people go, well, the context means it's trying to say that it's bad. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. But here's the thing. If you're trying to make a commentary on, say, murder, right? Like murder is bad. you wouldn't actually literally kill someone on screen, like an actual murder, to show the fact that is bad, right? Because, all the killings in these movies, they're always fake. We know they're fake. So therefore, it's like, okay, well, it might be making a commentary on it, but no one actually died doing these parts, okay? But when it comes to things sexual in movies, these are actual people who are nude. And then you add children who are doing similar dance moves or similar things, putting themselves out there sexually, and you're trying to show that sexualizing in children is bad. Meanwhile, you just took these kids, and I think they said the main actress is actually 14 years old. I haven't fact-checked that, but 11 to 14 years old is what these girls are. And you are having them hypersexualized on screen. So you're sexualizing them in order to tell people that sexualizing them is bad. It's the equivalent of murdering someone on screen. Literal murder, not fake, not special effects, literal murder on screen, and saying, see, that's bad. We know it's bad, and now you're becoming a hypocrite because you're doing the very thing that you're saying you're commentating on. And whether the director meant to do this or not, that's for other people to decide. People can make the judgment however they choose to do. Now, the reason why I'm doing a video on this, though, is not because, this is the obvious. Like, most people are actually pretty outraged on it. There are some people who are trying to make it like it's a right-wing outrage, and it's not. There's actually plenty of left-wing people who have spoken out against it. For those who don't know the channel, Shoe on Head, she's quite the liberal, and she did a whole video on it, condemning it. So anyway, the reason why I'm doing this video is recently I had a pretty well-respected Christian theologian. Now, it seems like he's shifting his position on it, so I want to make sure I give grace at the beginning of this. But I recently had a Christian, pretty respected theologian say that it's okay. The movie is just it's sensationalized. People are just being overly sensitive. And he tries making the context argument. So upon engaging this man, we were trying to show, I started describing the actions, so you're okay with underage girls exposing themselves, essentially rubbing their hands, and I said spreading their legs, rubbing their hands over their clits or their vaginas in front of everybody through booty shorts, in order to make a social message. And then I was told to watch my language, which was really funny to me because I'm like, how can you say that me describing the very actions that take place in this movie is now inappropriate, but yet you can turn around and watch the very movie that promulgates it. So of course I started kind of being facetious and saying, okay, so the place that shall not be named is what they rubbed over. And then he still said no such scene existed. So Brian, with us in this conversation, joined, and he posted a picture of the dance scene. This very picture. Now, we censored it out because it's gross, and I can't believe my eyes saw that. I needed to wash them out with bleach. But the point is obvious here that this is disgusting. This is child exploitation. And Brian, you can see in the image, point blank asked this man if he believes that this is okay. And I even asked him beforehand, is this sinful? And he said, in the context in which the scene takes place, no, this is not sinful. And so basically he was saying there's nothing wrong with it. And then he kept saying we were insulting him and then being very disrespectful. But I'm going to say this. I reserve the right to respond actually rather facetiously and also to respond disrespectfully if you are defending the sexualization of children. I do not support that, nor should you. And you shouldn't feel bad for actually having to get a little condescending sometimes with somebody who's doing this. Because think about it. That is someone's daughter, and you are defending them doing that just because social messaging. There's a lot of movies that cross some serious boundaries. Even shows like Game of Thrones didn't go as far as over-sexualizing children. They turned away from any scene that could have done that. Let that sink in. Game of Thrones is a better example of propriety of how to handle sexualizing children than this movie. That is insane when you really think about it, because Game of Thrones is known for its sexuality. The other issue is the fact that, one, imagine a movie so graphic that you can't verbally describe what's happening. Rubbing their hands over their vaginas, rubbing their hands over their clits, wearing booty shorts and shaking their butts in everyone's face with their cheeks hanging out. You can't, bluntly describe what this movie is doing without offending its watchers. Let that sink in. Also, two, imagine a movie so grotesque that you can't show an image of it without causing offense. Because once Brian posted that image, we got a bunch of naysayers saying we were sharing inappropriate content. These were the people who were actually defending it. You're just showing something out of context to validate your point. Yes, I am showing something that shows exactly what is in this movie to make the point. The evidence is damning in and of itself. And then thirdly, and this is the strongest point I can possibly make, if you are making the context argument that this movie is perfectly fine because of its context, then you are saying that it is okay to sexualize children depending on the context. Let that sink in. If you are saying that the movie Cuties is okay because of the context in which it takes place, you are saying it's okay to sexualize children depending on the context. It's wrong, it's disgusting, and bottom line is it's undefendable. There is no defensible position for the Christian on this. No Christian should defend this movie, no matter how much you're trying to say context, no matter how much you're trying to give artistic expression. Look, I'm an artist. Also, I love books. I love reading fantasy novels, and I love graphic novels, and I love all these different things. And they deal sometimes with very mature and dark themes. But there comes a point in time where there is a line. There is a moral line where it could be commenting on how horrible violence is. But once something actually becomes violent, in order for it to make its point, like someone is actually getting hurt, that becomes a problem. Just like if someone was literally raped on screen, just to say that rape is bad, you should feel offended by that, and you should condemn it. Because just because it's trying to comment on something, the intention doesn't change what the actual deed is, okay? Intention doesn't dictate, oh, well, my intention was pure. Okay, I don't care. If what you're doing is wrong and what you're doing is exploitative, then it's wrong. And that's all there is to it. And here's the thing. Christians keep wondering, oh, how is there so much moral degradation in our society? How are things collapsing so rapidly and falling apart? I'll tell you why. And it's because when situations like this come up and the Christian has an opportunity to speak up, speak out, and condemn something, there's always some Christian who claims the name of Jesus Christ, meanwhile not following a simple part of the morals, which Jesus himself said, if anyone causes one of these little ones to sin, it's better that a millstone be tied around his neck and him cast into the sea. Those are strong words by Jesus. And if you don't say that putting underage girls scantily clad on a stage and dancing before millions of people all across the globe with a Netflix subscription sexually, that they are sexually dancing for the world, is not causing them to sin, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to square that circle for you. You're really going to have to do some soul searching, because it's so obvious at that point that we have crossed the lines. I understand artistic expression. I understand that sometimes what the writer or director intends isn't always what is received, okay? I also understand the fact that there are dark commentaries out there trying to make a really intense social message. And honestly, anyone who knows me knows I really actually like darker and grittier things as far as movies and stuff, because I feel like that's where like substance is, I guess. That's where I connect. But at the same time, there is a line, people. There is a line. And I can say that Christians, non-Christians, believers, unbelievers, Buddhists, Muslims, maybe not Muslims. Their prophet did consummate his marriage with a 9-year-old girl, so it's a bad rap. Anyway, everyone besides Muslims should show the fact that they are against this. There should be something that unifies people. And honestly, Muslims should get on board with this too. Or Muslims, even better yet, should convert out of a religion that is okay with pedophilia. But anyway, this is not a Muslim video. But I do find it ironic that the movie does have a Muslim family. And there's discussion about also child brides and stuff apparently in the movie. But anyway, yeah, this is something that was really, really bothered me the other night when I had this conversation and an actual theologian was defending this. And now, like I said, he seems to be coming around, although he will not discuss it with me and Brian because apparently we came off too strong or something. But anyway, guys, we need to find morality and find a consistent morality, which is God's morality. God has the objective morality. Follow him. Do not cause little ones to sin. Do not sexualize them. Be respectful. Be good, mature Christians. And if you're not a Christian, you're just watching this, you probably yourself know that this is wrong. So Again, this should be something that we should all be united against. We should not have to sit there and have this conversation. I shouldn't have to shoot this video. And it saddens me and angers me that it does. And it's okay. You know, I had one person tell me that because I was clearly emotional about it, because I was coming in strong, that my argument was invalid. Guys, if you're not slightly angered at the thought of sexualizing children, then I don't know what to tell you about your conscience either. It means your conscience has been seared a little bit and you need to go searching for it, okay? But anyway, thank you guys for watching my rant. This was something I wanted to do off the cuff, something that really got under my skin and something I think that needs to be addressed. And we cannot and should not ever promote this movie or this behavior. We should condemn it wholeheartedly. Let it be known that it will not be tolerated. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Check out all our social media. If you have any questions, email us at thechurchsplit@gmail.com. We'll get to you as soon as we can. And thanks for watching. Take care.